This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the LCTV News. Or if this is your first time watching, we hope you enjoy and learn something new about Lynn. News this week begins on the state level, before moving to announcements from several organizations in the city. You can look forward to the warmer weather and new opportunities summer will bring in just a few months. With that, here's the news for Friday, March 14th, 2025. Faustina Cuevas, the DEI officer for the City of Lynn, was honored on March 5th with the prestigious Mayor Theodore Mann Regional Leadership Award by the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. Established in 1996 and named after Newton's longest-serving mayor, this award recognizes leaders in the greater Boston area who demonstrate exemplary commitment to regional collaboration and leadership. Cuevas is both the first Lynner and first DEI officer to receive this award. Since her appointment in 2021 as the city's inaugural DEI officer, the city has drastically increased language access services and the celebration of diverse heritage events at City Hall. Additionally, Cuevas was elected chair of the Massachusetts DEI Municipal Coalition and has played a pivotal role within MAPC's Racial Equity and Advancement Coalition Hub initiative, implementing equity-based policies since 2021. Quote, "This award is bigger than me," she said. "It's a testament to the work being done across Massachusetts to make municipal government more inclusive. DEI is under attack in many places, but here we're showing that it's still a priority. This award sets a positive precedent for what's possible," end quote. Last Wednesday, March 12th, GE Aerospace announced that it will invest $31 million in its Lynn facility as part of a $1 billion expansion of their U.S. manufacturing operations in 2025. This is in addition to the $30 million in 2024 and $31 million in 2023. The 2025 funding will be used to upgrade existing machines, add new equipment and tools to increase workplace productivity, retrofit test cells, and general infrastructure improvements. The branch in Lynn currently has 50 positions open as part of their workforce expansion plan, according to site leader John McCarran. Additionally, GE Aerospace donated $1 million to extend their Advanced Manufacturing Training Expansion Program through 2027. This partnership aims to create and maintain high-quality, ready-to-work manufacturing candidates across the North Shore. With these investments, GE aims to enhance production efficiency and increase their workforce. Students from across the state filled the Lynn Auditorium to compete in the Daily Items Regional Spelling Bee. Ranging from 3rd to 8th grade students, they competed for the title and several other prizes. In the end, it was 6th grader Adarsh Venkanagari taking the title after 25 rounds.
B-G-I.
Mary and I have partnered with the item for more than a decade, and during this time, we have increased the participation from 28 schools throughout the region to close to 100. This contest covers the entire state of Massachusetts excluding Boston. We are incredibly proud to have 34 winners on stage tonight that represents grades 3 through 8 and over 5,000 students that participated in the preliminary contest.
100 years of competition. 100 times is a lot to do anything, and I think it's a long time to keep up a tradition. I think it says something on the value that this event represents, the importance of words and literacy.
I want to remind everyone, especially our students, that today we celebrate not just words, but the power that they hold. Because words shape our thoughts, they fuel our creativity, and they connect us to the world. Spelling is more than memorizing letters. It is the foundation of literacy, communication, and lifelong learning. It sharpens our minds, strengthens our vocabulary, and gives us the confidence to express ourselves clearly and effectively.
Statistics clearly show that students who read a great deal will enhance their communication skills and exceed the national test average. They will also perform better in college and throughout their professional lives. The Scripps motto is, if we give them light, the people will find their way. And the students who continue to read and focus on pursuing their academic and personal goals will find their way.
F-L-U-I-D, fluid.
Correct.
On Tuesday, March 11th, the Healey-Driscoll administration proposed updated regulatory changes to the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education to improve access to career technical education programs across the state. These changes are based on feedback the administration received from the board regarding countable absences and demonstrated interest in CTE. Additionally, Governor Healey's recently filed supplementary budget includes $75 million for career technical education school grants, adding an additional 3,000 CTE seats over the next 3 years. Therefore, the board voted on March 11th to seek public comment on these regulations that would require lottery admissions to all CET programs and programs with a waitlist. It would also make the number of excused absences higher for high school students. If the school wishes to include that data, it must be used as weight in the lottery and not bar anyone from applying. Additionally, CTE programs could add an indication of interest to their applications. In this case, they must host at least 2 open houses and 3 virtual information sessions each school year, and provide students with a list of ways to show interest, such as a video or essay. The public has 60 days to post a comment through the board's website. The Food Project will be accepting applications for their 2025 Summer Seed Program through March 24th. This 6-week program provides the opportunity for 72 high school students to work with this organization, building sustainable food systems. Youth will work on the farms each morning, learning to grow vegetables and helping distribute thousands of pounds of produce. In the afternoons, they will participate in workshops to learn about sustainable agriculture, social justice, while also increasing their skills in leadership and civic participation. Seed crew members work approximately 28 to 32 hours a week for $15 an hour. In order to be eligible, prospective students must be between the ages of 14 and 18, have completed an application by March 24th, be available to work for the entire 6-week work period, submit a letter of recommendation, and complete an interview. The Seed Crew season itself runs from July 7th to August 14th, 2025. Our co-op students completed PSAs a few weeks back, focused on the importance of getting off screens and paying attention to what's all around us. First up, a reminder of all you will miss if you spend all your time looking at this. Next up, explore the risks of texting while walking in this second PSA.
You know, people have been getting really injured because they've been walking while using their phones.
That would never happen to me.
Okay. Say bye. It looks like you have a broken knee.
This is why you shouldn't text and walk.
Are you a young musician looking for opportunities this summer? Join the Northeast MA Youth Orchestras for their 5th annual summer music program the week of July 21st to the 25th at Trinity Episcopal Church in Topsfield. NMYO's summer orchestras include a mix of small and large ensembles, jazz, pops, fiddling, traditional and concert bands, and symphonic work. Youth musicians with at least 2 years of study with a private tutor and the ability to read music are eligible to register, with no audition required. Participants will be divided into groups based on their experience level and what instrument they play. Registration for this program is open until June 21st, 2025, but those who register before April 15th will receive a $25 discount. The Elite Eight is where Lynn Tech's improbable playoff run came to an end. Beginning the season at 1-7, a playoff run was highly unlikely, let alone making it to the quarterfinals. The Tigers met their match 77-55 to top-ranked Burke. Giovanni Jean picked up 3 quick fouls, but Travis Sanchez stepped up, scoring a team-high 21 points. In the end, the Bulldogs' offense proved too strong, increasing their lead to 16 by the end of 3 and 22 to end the game. While the Final Four is where St. Mary's boys also ended. They beat Abington High 74-43 in the previous round of 8. In both games, the second half was the difference maker, but with opposite results. Against Abington, Devel Pamplin and J.D. Martinez led a 9-0 run to begin the third. Abington struggled against the press defense of St. Mary's, leading to turnovers, fast break points, and a 52-34 cushion for the host by the end of 3. In the Final Four contest against Old Rochester, the Spartans were up 36-25 going into the half, but they went cold in the second half. Rochester contested shots and increased their defense, leading several St. Mary's turnovers. Even on the rare events where they got open shots, they were not falling, resulting in a 70-63 final and heartbreaker for the top-ranked Spartans. While the Spartan girls are back in the title game for the second time in 3 years. After their previous appearance in 2023, 3,000-point scorers graduated, and there was speculation as to whether they would ever get back there. These doubts were silenced to the tune of a 59-43 victory over Pittsfield. The Spartans came out of the gate swinging, going on a 16-2 run, largely due to Juliana Conte drilling 3 threes in the opening period. The Generals battled back, but St. Mary's held a 31-20 advantage going into halftime. Then it was Bella Awumi's turn. Awumi scored 10 of her 19 points in the third quarter to boost the offense. As a team, the Spartans also registered 17 steals, leading to fast break points. They will now face third-seeded Norwell for the championship. Over the weekend, the Boston Celtics hosted and beat the Lakers, ending LA's 8-game win streak. This game between such storied rivals did not disappoint, with both teams battling for control. Locked at 33 apiece after one, it was the Celtics who gained the edge, outscoring the Lakers 54-34 over the next 2 quarters. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were back in the lineup and all over the court. Tatum went off for 40 points and 12 rebounds, while Brown picked up 31 points of his own. They followed this up with a high-powered 114-108 win over the Utah Jazz, highlighted by a career-high 33 points from Sam Hauser, including a franchise record 7 threes in the third period. Boston then fell 118-112 to the Oklahoma City Thunder on the 12th. Small Dog Boatworks is a brand new nonprofit specializing in community boat building and restoration. Originally created under the umbrella of the Brickyard, they branched out and officially became their own 501c3 earlier this year. Hear more from the founder about their mission on this week's edition of The Lowdown. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we are welcoming on a newer organization, Small Dog Boatworks, and their founder, Ted. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great. So even before we started, you were given a little bit of the history. This is a good 6+ years in the making to finally get here.
Yeah. It's been, for those who, what was that movie? Ghostbusters, all three streams had to come together. We had to cross all the streams. We needed a place to work, we needed students, and we needed somebody who could teach the boat building. And so it was a vision that we've had that I had when we started the Brickyard Collaborative. Mm-hmm. And finally, we were able to pull it off. I think it was April vacation 2023. The response from that was just amazing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even really understand what an impact it was having on the kids who were involved. There were 6 kids, I think, 5 or 6 kids. I didn't even really understand an impact. Channel 5, WCVB TV, came in and interviewed them. And it was like they were doing 20-minute interviews of each of the kids. And that's when I started hearing the kids talking about what this meant, Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay, we're doing good. This is excellent. So then we had a launch. We launched the boat in June of that year. We had over 100. That's when you were there.
Yes. That was when I met you.
We had over 100 people there. I did a pan of the crowd and then counted people after the pan, and it was amazing. And Bob McCarty from Community Boat Building in Boston said that he has never seen a community turnout in such numbers for a launch.
Wow.
In all the years he's been doing it. He's been doing it for 5 or 6 years. So
that's a high compliment.
So it was fun. Yeah. So and we got some funding this year, and so we decided to tease it out from underneath the Brickyard and go out on our own. So and that's what we've been doing. This this past February vacation, we were building in a garage, and the garage was like 15 degrees.
Wow. So
we had to wait until it warmed up a little bit to build this one. So we're building this one in fits and starts, and we should have it almost all completed by Saturday. So, and that's one of the canoes. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. And would you be able to talk a little bit about, you touched on it briefly, but about the main mission of Boatworks, your main focus?
Yeah, basically we're teaching, but the kids have an opportunity to learn a lot of stuff that they can only learn doing that kind of activity. Mm-hmm. I heard one of the kids yell at the last launch, he's like, hey, want to do math someplace other than school? And it's like, this is real world math.
Yeah.
You know, and they were out working on the canoe, and they were like, trying to figure out what 9 14/16 was, and stuff like that, but also there's a sense of spatial thinking, which is something I don't really understand what that is, but that's what teachers say. But also, problem solving, teamwork, cooperation, pride in workmanship, just like attention to detail. It's fascinating to see what these kids get out of it. I mean, that's kind of the world I've always lived in. And you see these kids, and some of them have never held a power tool, and all of a sudden they have a Makita drill there, and they're like, what? And it's just great. And once they learn it, and once they get what they're capable of doing with all this stuff, it's just it's really exciting. It's really exciting. And then they get to take the boat out.
Ooh,
and paddle around in the water with this thing that they built, which is crazy,
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's not a very concise description of our mission, but I mean, basically what we're trying to do is nuts and bolts. We're trying to build about 4 boats a year. We right now don't really have a shop. We have a small shop up in Salem that we we do the millwork and the bits and pieces for the boats. We're waiting on a space that I hope is gonna finish being, doing construction.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll. I don't want to say this too loud because I don't want to embarrass the owner, but I'm hoping we can get in there by summertime, and then and that's in a really nice location down by the river, and coincidentally, it's really near where one of the finest boat builders in the world built boats around the turn of the century for the Herreshoff family, which I just found out about. So that's a very cool bit of heritage and history that these kids are hopefully getting from the program as well.
Yeah, it's another piece to it.
Yeah.
And what kinds of boats do you build? I know you just mentioned canoes, you mentioned a rowboat at one point. Is it very...
Well, we do a lot of things other than just building boats. So we built the flat bottom skiffs that you saw. At the launch. It's a 10.5 foot flat bottom skiff. It was designed by Nat Benjamin specifically for student boat building. It's kind of a combination of traditional plank design with a plywood bottom. So takes a lot of the sport out of doing the bottom and makes it a lot faster and easier. So that's the boat that Community Boat Building in Boston builds for just for a slightly different build that requires a slightly different set of skills. We build this 16-foot canoe, which is what we're building now. And now that it's warmer.
Not 15 degrees.
Yeah. And it fits a lot better with the kayak and sail Lynn guys because they're running kayaks and stuff. And rather than a rowboat, this will be more of a kayak canoe type of thing.
Yeah.
But we also, this past summer, we picked up a 1965 Boston Whaler with a 35 horse outboard that needed a lot of love. And when you look at marine skills, trade skills, you're looking at fiberglass work, you're looking at woodwork, you're looking at electrical work, you're looking at cabling, you're looking at all this stuff. So we had an opportunity to sort of tear through this entire thing. Wow. And Jaleel, the guy I was telling you about, showed up every time. I mean, every time I was like, I need somebody to help me wire the trailer, Jaleel was there, So, that was an opportunity for us to explore sort of deeper into marine trades, which is huge. And then we also, we have a CNC router, we have a laser cutter, we have 3D printers, we have all this stuff. 3D printers, for example, just for fun, you can design a part. And let's think in terms of marine hardware. You could design a cleat. If you have an idea for a better cleat, you can design it, you can 3D print it, and then we can sand cast it out of bronze. You can actually do what's called investment casting. So you make a sand mold and fire up our forge, not our forge, our foundry, and melt the bronze and pour it in there. And so that's something that we will be doing more in the summer. We're not really ready for doing that, but that's part of the whole vision of the Small Dog Boatworks idea. Rather than I'm channeling my mother. I'm talking with my hands here. Community boat building just builds boats. Yeah. And they just build this one boat. And they go into a school, they build a boat over the course of a week, and they're gone. We're trying to put together a program that's more sort of marine trades oriented, that takes you through almost every kind of vessel that's on the water and gives you an introduction to it. So it's fun stuff.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think I sent out an email recently about Jalil's program. He's going to spend a week this summer at the I'm saying Maine Maritime, the Mass Maritime place down in New Bedford, to take a 1-week class that is really intensive and goes through everything from, diesel mechanics stuff to cold weather survival. So there's a lot to that, and so I just feel like stuff's going to break loose pretty quick.
Yeah, and one last thing too, one quick additional thing is you also donate all these boats too, correct?
Yeah, we donate the boats to Kayak and Sail Lynn. They front us some money for the materials. Right. Yep. And I'm not sure where that money comes from, but so they cover the cost of some of the materials. But the boats then go back to them for either to use for the kids, and they also make them available to, I believe, disabled veterans.
Oh, that's great.
Or I don't think you have to be disabled. I think all veterans in Lynn can use these boats. So so there's a group of veterans that sort of hang out with Frank and take the kids out, and so that's a nice thing. At a certain point, we'll if we're successful, we'll be building enough boats to where we'll have to sort of liquidate them and move them out. I know Swampscott did a program for a while where they were building some rowboats, and they ended up selling or donating them to the Swampscott Yacht Club. That'll be a nice problem to have when we have it, but we're not there yet. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I said, I know I do have to wrap up now, but I said, you can just tell from the way you're speaking about it, how invested you are, how invested the kids are, and that I need to thank you again so much for really coming on to share it with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, I just I love talking about it. I love seeing it. Mostly, I love watching the kids doing their thing, because they forget about the teacher. They forget about the instructor. They're just they're doing their thing. Yeah. And they're doing something that they never thought that they never even imagined they were doing. My favorite quote, a good quote comes out of almost every build. My favorite quote out of the first build was, I can't believe I built a boat. It's as simple as that,
Simple, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It encompasses your whole message.
Yeah, yeah. It's not only about building boats, it's about what's possible. Possibilities.
Exactly. I don't think I can add anything onto that, but I look forward to seeing you and your group in the summer and really seeing what you get into.
We're talking about putting together actually sort of an event, because there are a number of groups around New England who are building boats like this and doing a program like this. And we could probably pull together about 25 boats and kids to go with them. And we're thinking about trying to do that in June down on Blossom Street. So stay tuned.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
We
that'll
will
be a good party.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes out for that, definitely, really,
Okay.
as we get closer to the summer. And to wrap things up here, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Join Lynn Housing Authority and Neighborhood Development for their 27th annual St. Patrick's Day Luncheon at noon on March 17th. Since their inception in 1988, this non-alcoholic celebration has been a cherished opportunity for the community to come together. Tickets are $25 per person or $200 for a table of 9. The luncheon will include food, entertainment, and an award presentation for outstanding community members. Learn more about plans for Kings Beach by attending a town hall on March 18th. Beginning at 5:30 p.m. in the Lynn Auditorium, the public is invited to hear from elected officials and professionals on the use of ultraviolet light to clean the water. Kings Beach has been closed the majority of the last 2 summers due to contamination, but several groups are taking steps to address the issue and make it safe for beachgoers once more. If you're feeling ambitious, go back-to-back nights and attend the 3rd annual Women's History Month celebration. Participants will begin at the Lynn Museum from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m., networking and hearing from various organizations, before moving to the galleries at Lynn Arts from 6:50 to 7:20, and finishing the night with performances from the Lynn Music Foundation in the Vault Theater from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. This event is free, and all in the community are encouraged to attend. That brings us to the conclusion of another action-packed week. To keep the information flowing, follow us on social media at Lynn Community TV. For the most complete community calendar in the city, our VOD, and information about becoming an LCTV member yourself, head to lyntv.org. If purely videos are your main interest, then Lynn Community Television on YouTube is the spot for you. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.